All right, here we go. Welcome into the 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports. I am Chase Senior. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, appreciate all of you for making the San Francisco 49ers Report a part of your day. The regular season is wrapped up, and it really is crazy to see how fast the NFL season can come and go. But for San Francisco, the season is not over. With their 38-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals, they are officially playoff bound. The Philadelphia Eagles did take down the New York Giants, so Philadelphia is going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. San Francisco officially locks down the number 2 seed. As of this recording, at nearly 7 o'clock Central Time, San Francisco will either take on the Seattle Seahawks or the Green Bay Packers in the first round of the NFL playoffs next week at Levi's Stadium. They'll take on the Seahawks if the Packers lose against the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football, but the Lions are already eliminated from their playoff potential berth because the Seahawks won their Week 18 game against the Los Angeles Rams. So keep in mind that the 49ers will take on either Seattle or Green Bay in the first round. If Green Bay takes down the Detroit Lions, then the 49ers will take on Aaron Rodgers once again in the playoffs, as they are 4-0 against one of the better quarterbacks of all time in the history of the NFL. And for this game, there was a interesting feel to it early because San Francisco and Arizona were going back and forth, and you're thinking that Arizona is going to be able to pull off the upset because they made this game a little bit ugly in the early going. They muddied this game up a little bit because on the second play from scrimmage, Arizona runs this trick play in which David Blau pitches the ball to the running back. He throws it back to Blau. Blau throws up a 50-50 ball to A.J. Green. Deommodore Lenoir wasn't in a good spot to make a play on what could have been an interception. Deshaun Gibson was also in coverage. A.J. Green takes it down. He takes it to the house, and you're thinking, okay, is a nightmarish event going to happen at Levi's Stadium, which the Cardinals pull off the upset? That didn't end up being the case. The better team rose to the occasion. The better team outlasted Arizona, and that's how the 49ers were able to pull out a 38-13 victory. And we're going to talk about it here on our postgame show and also take your calls. But first, if you're excited for the NFC playoffs, then type me in the chat right now. San Francisco started this year at 3-4. They end the regular season with 10 consecutive wins. They are red hot heading into the big dance, and they have an opportunity to be on that quest for 6 Super Bowl championships. I'm pumped up. Are you? Type me in the chat right now. Now, when you look at the 49ers' numbers against Arizona, especially when the starters were in, because Josh Johnson did replace Brock Purdy late in this game, I thought that San Francisco was good in this game. Really nothing special, but total yards, 311. They had 142 passing yards, 169 rushing yards, and on third downs, they were 6 of 13 with 4 sacks allowed. And for Brock Purdy, pretty solid day for him. 15 of 20. Obviously, those passing numbers don't make a lot of sense because he did throw for 178 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. His rating, absolutely phenomenal. And I thought that Brock Purdy faced some adversity early in this game. And again, keep in mind that those numbers were a little bit inaccurate early on. But Brock Purdy faced some adversity early in this game. He misfired on some throws. But just like last week, Brock Purdy had to battle through adversity. He had to battle through some misses. He was the most visibly frustrated that I've seen him, but he's still able to come through and play efficient football, not turn the football over, and that is what it's going to take for the San Francisco 49ers to make a deep playoff run. This roster is stacked offensively and defensively. This roster and coaching staff with Kyle Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans is capable of making a deep run in the playoffs. All Brock Purdy has to do is not mess it up. And today he showed, facing adversity, facing a little bit of pressure, J.J. Watt was all over him in his final game as an NFL player as of now all throughout the afternoon. And Purdy was able to battle some of those elements just like he did last week against the Raiders. And going into the playoffs, yes, the 49ers are riding high right now with 10 consecutive wins. And they are very confident. Longest winning streak in the NFL. But if they were to go into the playoffs with 10 consecutive wins, not having faced any challenges, that would be a concern for me. But Brock Purdy showed last week he can battle back from a 10-point deficit. Late in the game, he can drive the team down to put him in a position to win. And today, when he's missing throws, when the offense is kind of inconsistent, struggling to find its footing and a rhythm, he can find a way to help this offense get back on track. That's huge in the midst of a playoff run because that's what it's going to take to win a Super Bowl. Every game is not going to be easy. It's very rare that you blow out every single one of your opponents. And I understand that Brock Purdy is a rookie quarterback, and that's a challenge for him as he faces an uphill battle to help this team win its 6th Super Bowl in franchise history. But he has the college experience with a plethora of starts on top of a large sample size in the National Football League where I think San Francisco can be okay. And the great news is here, San Francisco pretty clean on that injury report. There are also a couple of takeaways that I have on top of what I just said. It's the fact that the 49ers are pretty healthy. Hopefully they can get Aaron Banks back. That certainly showed at left guard and across the offensive line as J.J. Watt had himself a day, and the offensive line without Aaron Banks a little bit of a concern, but they're getting healthier outside of Aaron Banks. Elijah Mitchell back on the field. Christian McCaffrey looked good coming off the knee and ankle injuries. Jordan Mason had a couple of carries. We saw Deebo Samuel back on the field. Dre Greenlaw did not play in this game, but hopefully he's going to be able to rejoin the Niners in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. And if the 49ers are at full strength, this is a team to be reckoned with. This is a team that can win the Super Bowl because when you look at the NFC right now, the Philadelphia Eagles got Jalen Hurts back. They got the number 1 seed. Congratulations to them for winning 14 games this year. The 49ers right behind them with a 13-4 record after starting the year at 3-4. Credit to Kyle Shanahan. But the 49ers in the NFC can win against any team because they match up favorably. They have one of the deepest rosters. They're one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and I think the most talented in the NFC. And they have playoff-level experience from not just last year, but going back to 2019 when they had some of the core players on this roster. And if you were to ask me right now in a playoff game in Philadelphia, if the Niners had to go on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, they can win that football game because right now the Eagles are kind of limping going into the playoffs, whereas the 49ers are absolutely red hot. We're going to take your calls, more takeaways on the other side, but first, let's tell you about our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you like betting on the game of football, no better sportsbook out there than BetUS because the deal, it just can't miss. Just like Michael Jordan on the fadeaway jumper from mid-range. Chatsports.com/49bet. Promo code Niners125. Why is it so great? Because it's a 125% deposit bonus. You put in $100, you get $125 back. That's $225 to game with for the NFL playoffs coming up. So sign up with our sportsbook partner today. It's BetUS. Chatsports.com/49bet. Promo code Niners125. Couple more takeaways that I want to get to. We talked about Brock Purdy. I like what I saw today as well as last week for a rookie quarterback to have some level of Teflon built in to his confidence level. How about George Kittle, though? What George Kittle continues to do is really miraculous. Today, 6 targets, 4 catches, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Doesn't seem like crazy numbers outside of the touchdowns, right? How about the numbers that he's put up in his last 4 games? With his grandma in the stands who is celebrating her 100th birthday. 7 touchdowns in the last 4 games for George Kittle as he continues to put forward a very special production-wise season for him after early in the year he was missing because he basically had to be the left tackle to help protect Jimmy Garoppolo. And what I want to see moving forward for this Niners offense is to not eliminate his usage and his role in the offense with Deebo Samuel back. This offense has been clicking on another level with George Kittle. And if you have to include him and exclude Deebo Samuel moving forward because that's what's worked over the last couple of weeks, then so be it. So be it, because this offense has been borderline unstoppable over the last couple of weeks. I also need to talk about Deshaun Gibson here. Late signing in the offseason, in training camp, $1 million in base salary, and now 3 interceptions in his last 2 games. And for Deshaun Gibson, he's been a steady presence all year. Remember when Jimmy Ward went out with that hamstring injury? Deshaun Gibson had to step in as a longtime veteran who had kind of flamed out a little bit last year with the Chicago Bears, but is well accomplished in his NFL career. You're thinking, okay, it's going to be a signing to help fill the void as Jimmy Ward is out for the next couple of weeks to start the year. He has been a very, very good safety. And this goes back to what I've talked about this organization. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, making fiscally sound moves in free agency, hitting on draft picks to stack this roster up in a way that allows them to have the depth necessary to go from 3-4 to 13-4. NFC West champs, number 2 seed in the NFC. That doesn't happen without good coaching, good player development, but also good moves in free agency as well as the NFL draft. So, with the playoffs around the corner and your calls coming up around the corner, what is your confidence level in a Super Bowl run for San Francisco? Let us know in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. And while you venture down there to the comment section, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to pivot to our callers live on Callin. This is why you download the Callin app, because you can call into the show. We're going to start off with our main guy, David Corona, live on the 49ers Report. What's up, David? You're a real one.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you great, loud and clear.
Yeah, good game, good win. We're looking good. We just have Brock Purdy has to play like that. We'll go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and David, there's some background noise there, so I'm just going to mute you really quickly, and I appreciate you for tuning into our YouTube shows as well as calling in to call in on a weekly basis. But you mentioned it, Niners looking good. And all they need is for Brock Purdy to not mess it up. If Brock Purdy were to go into the wild card round against, let's say, either Green Bay or Seattle and choke, fold, collapse under pressure, that's the only way that the Niners lose in the wild card round. They're the better team than Seattle. They proved it in the previous 2 matchups. I don't worry about a third matchup against Seattle because San Francisco matches up favorably and is much better than the Seahawks. Against Aaron Rodgers, though, you turn the football over a couple of times. That's how you give Green Bay some life if they're able to pull off the win against the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football. So, Purdy, pressure's on you a little bit, but the pressure was on him against the Raiders. He responded well. The pressure was on him early on when it was 7-6 and things weren't going the Niners' way. He responded. Let's hope he can continue to do that. Let's go next to Michael, a.k.a. Funky Nitro. What's up, Michael? Welcome on to the show.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Fantastic, even after a win, man.
Congratulations to your sister.
Oh,
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So what a lot of people don't realize is that my sister, right before the postgame show, FaceTimed me. She had no idea I was live. She said, and I answered it because I'm like, why is my sister FaceTiming me? She's in Aruba. She's like, I'm engaged. I'm like, oh my goodness. So my mind is in a different place right now, but I appreciate you saying that, Funky Nitro.
Yeah, we can tell how it affects you by your demeanor and,
Incredible, man. Once in a lifetime moment.
Absolutely. So I'm not worried about the 49ers playing Seattle or Green Bay because both of them are junk compared to our stellar 49ers across the board. I still am a little aggravated that we can't score 40 points. I want to score 40 points. But anyway, that's just a little minor thing on a side note. But I don't really like Green Bay or Seattle, either one. But I believe our defense is absolutely going to pick it up in the playoffs and just crush everybody, and we're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win. And that ain't being optimistic. That's being that's reality.
Realistic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's reality. And also, so I had something else. I lost my train of thought, but anyway.
You're good, bro.
So, so anyway, I think, this is what I want to say was Bosa should win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm a little disappointed that he did not get within 2 games, the Raiders in this game. I figured he'd be at 20. I was
Yeah.
hoping he would have beat Alden Smith's record.
Yeah, me too. And he finished the year with 18 and a half sacks, Michael, and thank you for your call. And going into the last 2 games, going up against a porous Raiders offensive line and a David Blau-led Cardinals team, you're thinking he's going to be able to get it. Sacks are hard to come by, and the Cardinals' game plan, get the ball out quickly for David Blau. And Bosa got that 1 sack. He got to 18 and a half, so the franchise record remains with Alden Smith back in 2012 of 19 and a half sacks. Bosa got close, but I do agree he's a Defensive Player of the Year because nobody has had a bigger impact than him on the defensive side of the ball. Let's go to 49ers food review. First time caller on Call-In. What's up, man? How you doing?
Welcome to 49ers food review. Today I will be reviewing barbecue chicken from Popeyes.
Okay.
Let's open this up.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing awesome. Even better that you call, brother.
Oh, that's hot. Ah!
So
Jesus.
the food review is taking place right now.
It is. Ah! My God.
You got any other
Buffalo
takeaways
chicken
about
is
this
just
game
around.
here?
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm a Colts fan, and we've not been having the greatest of times recently. Wow. Lost against the Texans. That doesn't feel great.
No, it doesn't at all. 49ers food review. That's his username, but he's also a Colts fan. So I'm not understanding what's going on there. But we appreciate the call either way, and we appreciate the laughs. All right, let's go to our guy, Tom Daly. He's been bringing the heat over the last couple of weeks. What's up, Tom?
Good evening, Chase. That guy's killing me. A couple of things. Just my confidence is high in this team for all the reasons that you've stated. I mean, all the different talent they have. Brock Purdy is doing exactly what you said. He's not screwing it up. Even when he's meeting some adversity, he always seems to find his rhythm. Specifically, he and George Kittle, I think, have really developed a rapport together. He gets into trouble. He needs a touchdown. Who's he going to? He's going predominantly to George Kittle, and the numbers, I think, reflect that. Especially the fact that J.J. Watt was all over him like a bum on a pork chop.
Dude, all over him, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times he got sacked. What was it, 2, 3?
He had 2 sacks today, 3 tackles for loss,
Yeah.
and multiple quarterback pressures. He was awesome.
It was looking ugly, but he finds a way. He picks himself up. I think I heard something that he came to the sidelines at one point, or the whole thing where he's pointing towards his the inside of his arm and saying, "I got ice water in my veins." And Kyle Shanahan, I guess, got a little pissed, and then he finally had to start cracking up because the guy, he really does. He has that poise. And then really can't cover anything that you didn't already, except for one thing occurred to me halfway through the game. This doesn't have to do with the game itself. You guys there at Chat Sports, I realized, have one of the best jobs in the world. You get paid to have fun, and you get paid to drink at work. It can't get any better than that.
Yeah, no, it's hard to argue. I definitely wake up
No.
every single day, Tom. I feel blessed to do what I do. And obviously, like, watch parties and drinking is a very small fraction of what we do. But for game days, we definitely go
Sure.
hard. And we go hard because the audience shows up, shows out, and we got to show y'all support. And we have to live up to the expectations. And we want to make this the best game day atmosphere outside of being at the actual game. And the work that
And it
goes
is.
into it, man, it's a lot. Like, I legitimately
I'm
work
sure it is.
6 to 7 days a week. There are very few days off. Ask my girlfriend Kira, during the regular season. But to be able to do what we
Sure.
do,
Well, you
it's
make it
certainly a
look
blessing.
easy.
Yeah.
You-
It ain't easy,
you
man,
guys
but
make it look
we
easy.
do it.
You guys make it look easy, and congrats to your sister and you guys.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate
all
it.
I got
Happy
for
New
you.
Year to you, brother.
You too, buddy.
All right, take it easy. Tom, look forward to hearing from you next week. To another real one, and a guy who I interact with a lot, my guy Rick Torres. Me and him both dealing with knee issues right now, but it ain't stopping us, Rick.
Hey, Chase, how's it going?
Good, man. How about you? I saw, you celebrated your daughter's birthday last night? How'd it go?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I just wanted to say that the game was great. The what was it? I was psyched about all the skill players playing really well. And the scoring that was good. It reminds me of the old Niner teams when they had all the skill players participating, and the way Brock comes back. After that first score, I saw that he just came back downfield and they scored. So he didn't let that first score kind of shake him. Um, and I'm psyched to see who we play in the playoffs. I don't care who we face as long as we play the way we played today. And most importantly, congrats to Sister Senior. And where is the bachelor party going to be?
So I'm not sure where the bachelor party is going to be. I had an idea that the engagement was coming because they're taking a vacation to Aruba, and I had the
Right.
indication that it was going to happen down there. I'm not sure where
Right.
the bachelor party is going to be. Unfortunately, they want to schedule a wedding during football season, which I
Yeah.
completely disagree with, and that could cause some conflicts. So next year, which is, I believe, when they're going to get married, because it might happen quick. I might have to do a virtual watch party or something
There
from
you
somewhere
go.
else.
There you
But
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So listen, it was a great game. I'm psyched to see who we see in the playoffs, and have a good night.
Hey, you too, brother. Really appreciate you calling into the show. Look forward to hearing from you in future episodes, as well as Rick Torres continues to be a massive supporter of what we do on the show, especially for me individually. Let's go next to James. James Stevens, you're next up on the docket, live on the 49ers Report. What's up, James?
Hey, not much. Just rocking, watching the game with you guys here in Tucson, Arizona.
Nice. Tucson, Arizona. That's a good place to be right now.
Yeah, it's got up to 72 today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was about 55, 60 here in Dallas, so not quite that warm here, but I can feel you on the weather, man. It's nice. I went to Flagstaff, Arizona back in 2014 as I drove from Philadelphia to Los Angeles to study abroad, quote unquote, for college back in the day. But great time in Arizona, man.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I like to say, and I guess this seems a little clever on my part, is I guess we got the Cardinals between a rock and a hard place.
That's a good one.
But,
That's a good one. Hopefully that continues for the playoffs, my guy.
Yes, I not been so excited for the Niners. I mean, I've been a fan since way back in the Montana era.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a poster in my room about Super Bowl 24, and I was really excited about that game, and I feel that I have the same excitement for the chances of the 49ers this season.
Let me ask you this, James, before we go to the next caller. I mean, obviously, the 49ers have had some good chances to win a Super Bowl last year, 2021, 2019, when they actually made it, the Harbaugh days when they made it to 3 NFC Championship games. Where does this kind of stack up as compared to the recent teams?
Actually, I'm a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan. I thought the turnaround for the 49ers when they originally got him. I mean, yeah, he has had his moments where he hasn't shined very bright, but I think that was the beginning of the start of their, coming up of their power.
Yeah. Look, it's kind of crazy to think, James, and thank you so much for the call, that when Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, you're thinking that the season is over. You're thinking that Brock Purdy is going to come in for a Super Bowl contending team, and this team's going to be able to rally. They're going to be able to form a level of consistency on offense. They've done just that. And what's crazy, James, is that this 49ers offense has been more explosive. Brock Purdy has outplayed Jimmy Garoppolo. They've been better. And the trust that Kyle Shanahan has shown in Brock Purdy has been crazy. They haven't missed a beat without Jimmy G. And I had my concerns when Jimmy G got answered because, look, Mr. Relevant, last pick in the draft, he did a lot of great things at Iowa State. I had said Niners aren't going to cut him because they really like him, and he displayed some things throughout the NFL preseason. But for him to be this good, nobody saw that coming. And San Francisco, for me, number one team in the NFC with how they're playing right now. Next up on the show, let's go to Chardol. Chardol, hopefully I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I apologize.
I just want to say this was a really great game as the 49ers take down the Cardinals by a score of 38-13 and clinch that number 2 seed, which is pretty exciting because I'm the biggest Niner fans out there, and I always love moments like this because these really fire me up every day.
No doubt. Ain't it life-changing what sports can do for people, man? I mean, we saw Damar Hamlin bring everybody together, and that's a very small example of what sports can do on a national landscape. We saw that with September 11th. We saw it with Damar Hamlin, how those moments really brought people together nationwide and worldwide. And then sports in general for the Niners. You go to a game. It doesn't matter what somebody's race is, their sexual preference, political preference, where they come from, who they are. If the Niners score a touchdown, you're high-fiving everybody around that mug. So that's the special thing about sports, and that's what made me fall in love with sports in general, and that's why I'm in sports broadcasting.
So quarterback Brock Purdy had a stellar performance in this game. He went 15 to 20 for 178 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks, which is pretty exciting because I don't like to see anybody throw a pick because picks are really devastating. They ruin a team, and they're not something you like to see in a game because that's just any fan really has that type of mentality. And they're kind of turning into the scariest teams in the NFC West, man. They got Christian McCaffrey, they got Brandon Aiyuk, they got Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner, and many others. I mean, I think this team has a chance of making to the Super Bowl because they're showing their dominance, and this team really displays all this dominance throughout the season. And people who have been doubting this team really have to change the way they think about this organization. And Kyle Shanahan has been doing a wonderful job as head coach. I mean, I hope he keeps doing a great job managing this team. But I'm really hoping that I don't care who they play in the NFC wildcard game. It could be either Green Bay, Detroit, or Seattle. But I wish whoever they play, I hope it's going to be a really entertaining matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Did I get that name right? Chardol? Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you got the name right, Chardol.
Chardol. You brought the heat today, man. Thank you so much for calling into the show.
I really love calling into your show, and you keep slaying it on the show every day. You get so many great people coming on here. Keep getting all those people, man, and support for the 49ers report by Chat Sports, and support my guy Chase because he puts all this content for you every single day. So you're doing a disservice if you're not supporting this guy.
Hey, man.
This guy puts all this content.
Really appreciate that, dude. I mean, I put so much effort, time, passion, energy into the show. So for it to get appreciated by people like you, I do appreciate that. But it wouldn't be possible without people like you. And with what you talked about there, San Francisco, golden opportunity to win a Super Bowl. San Francisco is well positioned to make a deep run here. And some of your takeaways from the game, I totally agree with. Like, the Niners had to show some resolve. They had to fight back in this game. And you need that. You can't just win every game so easily. You have to build up some level of Teflon, some level of toughness in order to get yourself primed for a playoff spot. And the early goings of this game last week against the Raiders certainly allowed the Niners to do just that. All right, next caller, Electra Babe. Electra Babe, what up? What up? How you doing?
Hey, Chase, can you hear me?
I can hear you just well.
Hey, well, I just want to give a couple points and everything. I'm thinking Purdy's looking really good.
Yeah.
You just got to, pretty much just not have the nerves. You just got to play strong, keep the nerves under wraps, and just keep going how he's been playing. He's looking great. Just going to be some big teams coming up. He just got to keep himself under control, maybe not throw the ball away as much, but he's looking great, and we're looking great. Go San Fran. And I love your cast all the time. I always tune in. I wanted to say thank you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. And for Purdy, and hang on here, Electra Babe, for a sec. For Purdy, that's what it comes down to. You can't get overwhelmed by the playoff moment. You can't get overwhelmed by the playoff stage. And the last 2 weeks showed me that he's going to be able to at least soften those blows or at least absorb those blows. And that's really important for the character of a playoff team.
Exactly. I feel the exact same way. But what as you said, one of your is against like Aaron Rodgers, you know what I mean? It's a different story, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Like
I mean,
KC too, right?
Think about
Same
that.
thing,
Like,
right?
you're the last pick in the NFL draft. You wake up and you're like, I got to go up against Aaron Rodgers this week. Human nature points to the fact that I might clench up a little bit. But so far, he has not.
And also KC too. KC can be a big one if we see the repeat of 2019. I was watching that game. I was holding my breath every second. Like,
No
you were
doubt.
so close.
No doubt. Hey, you know people love you on YouTube, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm around, you know, always. I'm always in.
All right, bet. Thanks for calling into the show.
No worries. Have a great night.
All right, Rich Milich, our next caller here on the 49ers Report. You have a great night, too. I'll let your babe. Rich, you're next up. What's up? Rich, you there?
Mic check.
There it is. Mic check. Sound.
Long time chatter, first time caller.
Hey, man. So good to hear from you. I appreciate you for supporting the show.
And good evening.
Yes, sir.
I want to go analytical here.
All right, let's go.
And as we go further into any NFL season, the psychology that's present in the game becomes larger and larger and larger. So when I look at matchups, I'm going to go into left field here because of the game going on right now. Let's talk Lions-Packers for a second. Lions are eliminated, and it was mentioned earlier they have got nothing to play for. Well, that's not true, because they scrapped all year to get here, and they were literally one game away. Is that a narrative? Yes. Is the opportunity to knock off a division rival and make a statement on a fading? That's the story of the Packers franchise, a fading franchise that wants one more. The Lions can put the boots to that. Is that a narrative and to step over them inside their division? Yes. Now you get into a wild card matchup. Is the stage too big for you? Are you looking ahead too far? The trap game scenario. In the regular season, that's a factor. In the playoffs, it's much bigger because certain guys haven't been there before. All the talent is better. Now you have to think about, and you overthink, you overpursue. You try to force a football into a tighter window than you normally would. And this is how teams get ganked and they lose. Mm-hmm. Or you get nervous and long snap over the quarterback's head in the end zone in the very first play. Teams can crumble like that. And any given Sunday becomes bigger in the playoffs game by game. The defense the 49ers have is that you have a lot of players who have not been here before. And that can actually be an advantage because you haven't felt that pressure. You haven't had the narrative of your franchise hanging over your head either. And that's a tough thing to break on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So when I talk about matchups and think about matchups, I'm thinking, what's the narrative here? Because the further you go in the playoffs, the more important that gets.
Yeah. Have you thought about hosting your own YouTube channel, man? You brought the heat right there.
No, I actually did try to get onto the local radio station, but the sign-ups ended before I could get to the booth.
Hey, you have a good radio voice, and you made some good points right there, Rich. I appreciate it.
You know what the saying is? I've got a face for radio.
They say that about me as well. So thanks for calling into the show. I'll respond right here. So for Rich.
And good day.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir, no doubt. So with what Rich talked about, like that's my concern about Brock Purdy. It's one thing to play this way in the regular season. It's one thing to go undefeated as a starter. It's one thing to play really good football. But when you know you're going up against Aaron Rodgers in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs, how are you going to respond? Are you going to play well? Are you going to clench? Are you going to crumble? Are you going to fold? All these things are human nature elements to this game. And when you think about it, that's what separates the champions from the average Joes. That's what separates Michael Jordan and his mentality from a player who had more talent than Michael Jordan, but not the work ethic and not the intestinal mental fortitude. And for San Francisco, this is why it's important to have a foundational culture. This is why it's important to have the right people in place, coaching, roster, general manager, ownership, where you know you have those levels of the foundation, like to a house. A house is nothing without a level of foundation, right? You don't have that for a house is going to crumble. For the Niners, this is a well-run organization that is well-positioned with the right leaders in place, as you saw when they rallied around Brock Purdy and continued to rally around him, that despite having a rookie quarterback, you can still win a Super Bowl. 2 more callers left to get to. Evan and then Michael. Let's go to Evan, the GM. He was at the game today at Levi's Stadium. What'd you see today, Evan?
Hello?
Yo, what'd you see today from Levi's, man? You were there, right?
Oh, my God. One thing to say is the send-off for J.J. Watt brought me to tears.
Pretty cool. All-time great, man, and he had a hell of a game to go out.
Yeah, and also, honestly, I know this is a personal thing, but I was trying to get a Brock Purdy jersey, and oh, my God, almost $200.
Really? Okay, so they're going out in style, huh?
Yeah, the one I was trying to get was the black one.
Okay. Wait, so you live in Iowa, right? So did you fly to Santa Clara and San Francisco to watch this game today?
Well, my stepdad is a Niners fan, and Christmas.
Okay, nice. So what, you flew from Iowa to California to watch the game today?
My stepdad is a huge Niners fan, so it was a good Christmas gift.
I know, but where'd you stay? With him in Santa Clara?
With his stepmom, and we're the same place the Warriors are at.
Oh, nice. Awesome, man. Well, I hope you had a good time. And maybe you can get that Brock Purdy jersey at one point.
Yeah, and also, just to clarify, I was trying to figure out how to say this all season. Growing up, my dad was a 49ers fan, and I'm part 49ers fan. But on the other hand, I also have a slight interest in Pittsburgh because that's where my mom's favorite is too. So okay. I'm mixed.
Okay, it's fine. I mean, the Niners are the better team.
Yeah.
But you also got to pull for the mom, so it's okay. Evan, the GM, you're the man, brother.
And also one last thing is, where I was, I think, I was in the nosebleed section, but I think I was looking at the highlights. I saw me near the end of the first half.
Very cool. I'm glad you were able to get on there, man, because you're a diehard fan of San Francisco, and as always, appreciate your diehard fandom of the 49ers Report as well. Hope all is well, brother. 2023 off to a really good start. Thanks for calling in. Our last caller of the show, Michael. What do you got, Michael? Last caller on the program. What it do?
Let's say I'm glad about the dub today. What a dominant win today.
Let's go, man. Let's go. So good. Feels so
And I
sweet.
got another thing to say, actually.
Okay.
I really hate Aaron Rodgers. He a big old pain in the butt. I can't stand him.
Same.
Every time we play them.
Yeah.
He's annoying.
I know. He's one of the greats of all time, and to take down an all-time great, it's oh so sweet.
And it's one thing I got to say. Actually, my wife's a Packer fan, so I had to talk crap about her team.
Uh-huh.
So, her team, I can't stand it. I'm glad we got the win. I was kind of upset the New York Giants choked.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, but they were starting Davis Webb. You know, it's kind of a joke at that point, but yeah. All right, Michael, thanks for calling into the show, man.
Have a good one.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Peace.
Peace.
All right. So that's going to do it for our call-in room. We'll still stay live here on YouTube for a couple of minutes. To all of you who called in and joined us on call-in, we do appreciate that. Niners, San Francisco, 38-13 winners over the Arizona Cardinals. Again, appreciate y'all for calling in here on Call-In.